Welcome back to FM Storey. We're into the running to the end of Season 8. Our chances of challenging for the title have probably gone. We're 7 points behind Rangers and 8 points behind Celtic. There's just 2 games left before the split. However, we have made it to the quarterfinals of the Europa League where we've been drawn against Roma. And if we manage to get past Roma, we've got a relatively favourable draw in the semi-final. So hopefully we can even make it all the way to the Europa League final, but at least we've got a couple of big games coming up against Roma. So without further ado, let's get into the action. We've made it to the middle of April and we've got the second leg coming up against Roma. We've played 3 games since the end of the last episode. The first one was a home game against Dunfermline in the league. We were in a pretty comfortable position, 3-0 up after 73 minutes. We did concede a couple of quick goals, 80th and 82nd minute, which made it a bit tense towards the end, but we managed to hold on and come away with the 3 points. The first leg against Roma, we were pretty good throughout the whole game. We were in front early on. They got an equaliser after a corner. Shot came in, hit Elise, went in the back of the net. It ended 1-1. Not the best result that we would have hoped for going into the second leg. And then in the most recent league game against Rangers, we actually rotated the team a bit just because the Roma game was Thursday night, the Rangers game Saturday lunchtime. Not an awful lot of time between them, especially with the second leg coming up against Rangers. So we did rotate around in the defence and the front three, and ultimately it paid off right at the end of the game in injury time. Isaac Babadi squaring the ball, Damian Perez sweeping home from close range. What that means as far as the league's concerned is going into the split, we are 4 points behind Rangers. We're still 8 points behind Celtic, so that's probably a bit too much to overcome. But there's a chance that we might be able to catch Rangers in the last 5 games of the season. But now the focus turns to back to the Europa League and back to the second leg against Roma. This is the side we're going into the second leg against Roma with. We made one change from the first leg. We brought Barcola in to play on the left of that front three instead of Alan Kerr. And hopefully we've got enough about ourselves to pick up a result, but it's going to be a tough game. So we're going with the 4-3-3 with the 3 up front. They're going with a very sort of defensive 5-3-2. But they do have some decent firepower in their team. They've got a free kick. Danny Smith picks it off though. Into Romeo. Smith back at right back. Elise to Smith again. Romeo. Klemenko gives it away with a poor pass there. And now they're breaking. They've got the chance to break. Cristante through the middle, Corsia in, and we've got away with one there. It was far too easy the way they cut us open there. After that early chance for Roma there's not been too much. I mean, there's not been another highlight since then. And there we have it, half-time, 0-0, still 1-1 on aggregate. Another 45 minutes plus potentially extra time to decide who goes through to the semi-final. And apart from that one chance that they created for Corsia, where he put it wide early on after we gave the ball away in midfield, we've obviously been pretty solid, but we haven't created too much going forward because there's not been another single highlight since then. But the second half appears to be starting the same way the first half ended. They've made a couple of early substitutions in the second half. Right, Zebra with a free kick, goes long. They win the header, and now they've got it in midfield. Manini coming down the right-hand side for them. But Romeo picks up the ball into the midfield. Medina, Klemenko, Casanova is tackled, but it comes out to Shimahira, who finds Matson in acres of space down the left-hand side. Can you get the ball in? Crosses. It went over Casanova. It's been disallowed. I'm not quite sure why. Well, now they're in acres of space down their left-hand side. What a save. I had a feeling that was going to be a penalty there. Right, so we made a couple of changes. We brought Damian Perez and Alan Kerr on for Casanova and Barcola just to see if we can somehow get at this Roma defence. Right, throw in for them. Oh. Thank God for that miss. That's the second one Corsi has missed a sitter. Another couple of changes we brought. Matson and Medina off because they were struggling. We brought on Dimo at left back and Kokora in the midfield. We're into the last 10 minutes and not an awful lot appears to be happening. We have ridden our luck at times in this game, but it looks as though this may be heading for extra time unless one team picks up a late winner here. Right, we've got a corner. Kerr swings it in. Headed clear. Smith to Kokora, who chips across up. And the keeper got up above Shimihira to claim it. The keeper rules it out. Now they're coming forward. Abraham's through. He hits the bar. We've half cleared it. They've still got it. They're still coming forward. We've definitely ridden our luck in that 90 minutes. But now we go to extra time. And I think it might end up being whichever team's the stronger through extra time might come away with a victory because both teams look very tired. And that's half time and extra time. The only thing that happened in that half was Amane Romeo picking up an injury and us having to bring on Ibrahimovic instead of him. 15 minutes left either side to try and avoid penalties. There's very little happened in either half of extra time so far. We've got 6 minutes plus injury time left. Right, they've got to throw deep in our half. We've half cleared across. Ibrahimovic lumps it upfield, but it's going to come straight back. Oh, Klemenko intercepts it. King down the line to Shimihira. Loses out. And now they're attacking again. Dimov wins one tackle, but it goes straight to their player, cross to the back post. A poor header clear. And they've hit the woodwork from distance. And we are definitely hanging on here. And there we are, full time. We're headed for penalties. And it doesn't look like we've got much chance looking at our penalty takers that we've got on the pitch. Right, Cristante stepping up first for Roma. Zebra has been a penalty-saving hero in the last few seasons. Went the right way, just didn't get down far enough towards that one. Damian Perez to step up to take our first penalty. Sends the keeper the wrong way and levels it up at one apiece. Oristanio. Zebra saved it. Yet another penalty save. Now Ibrahimovic. And we need this one because after Ibrahimovic our penalty takers drop off drastically. Gaines sends the keeper the wrong way and we're 2-1 up. But that was the last player that has double figures for penalties that is on the pitch for us. Pellegrini stepping up. And Zebra saved another one. We've Kokora can score this, put us 3-1 up. He does. I thought the keeper had got his hand to that. But it's 3-1. All it needs is for us to score one more penalty, and we're through to the semi-final. Angulo stepping up against Zebra, who saved the last 2 penalties. All the pressure in the world on Angulo. Straight down the middle. And it's 3-2. And then stepping up to take our 4th penalty, Samson Elisa, who's been a rock at the back all season. And he buries it, and we've knocked out Roma, and we're into the semi-final of the Europa League. We've made it to the 21st of May, and our last game of the season, and it is the Europa League final in Istanbul against Marseille. Quite how we've managed to make it this far, especially with the farce we had with the registration towards the end of the January transfer window, where it looked like some of the key players that have been stars for us in the league were going to leave. We took them out, and yet somehow we've still managed to make it to the final. Since the second leg against Roma, we've had a pretty decent run. We ended up beating Rangers in the next game to make it 2 wins against Rangers in 3 games that we'd played. At that point, we did take an early lead. They got themselves 2-1 up just before the hour, and then Jose Casanova popped up with a late double to secure a 3-2 victory for us. The first leg against Olympiacos did not look good at all. We squandered it. We conceded an early goal, squandered chances. Shimahira got us back on level terms, and Jimmy Edstrom scored a wonder goal. They equalised just before half-time, and then Jimmy Edstrom scored a header from a Samson Elise cross to secure a 3-2 victory in the away leg to put us in control going into the home leg. We then followed that up with a 2-2 draw against Hibs, where we were behind twice and had to scramble back to get a point. Olympiacos in the home leg, a lot more comfortable. 2 goals from Casanova, 3 goals from Alan Kerr, and the last 2 of those late on just to really secure the victory, but a comfortable 5-1 victory in the second leg to put us through 8-3 on aggregate. We then were at home to Kilmarnock and came away with a pretty comfortable 4-2 victory. We were then at home to Celtic, penultimate league game of the season, and just really did not perform. They hammered us 3-1, fully deserved victory for them. And then on the last day of the season, we went to Aberdeen, knowing that we had to at least match Rangers' result on the last day of the season to finish ahead of them. We were level on points going into the last day. We had a much better goal difference, and in the end, we basically battered them. We ended up winning 6-0. Rodriguez picked up a couple of goals. It means that we finish second on 79 points. We're still 8 points behind Celtic, but we had the best goal difference in the league. We also had the worst discipline in the league, the most yellow cards and red cards that we've seen in any season since the save started for any club. But when you look at the player ratings and the goals, so Casanova, we signed on the 1st of January. He got 15 league goals in the second half of the season. Jorge Rodriguez got 16 goals. He's been capped by Argentina. Alan Kerr with 13 assists. With the players have been outstanding. Now, there's just one more game left, and that's the Europa League final. And all that's standing in our way is Marseille. So, this is the side we're going into the final with. We are apparently the favourites with the bookmakers, but Marseille had a tougher run to the final. So hopefully we can prove the bookies right and come away with a victory. But it's going to be a tough game. And fingers crossed we can pick up a European trophy. Right, so we're going with that 4-3-3 with the 3 through the middle. They're going 4-2-3-1. Right, we're getting a highlight straight from the kickoff. They're keeping the ball pretty well out to the left-hand side to Sarr. That might be a problem. Ismaila Sarr going up against Danny Smith, who really is not yet a proper fullback. But we force them back into their own half. Oh no, this is a problem. Pulls it across. 39 seconds on the clock. And we're already 1 goal down. It's just far too easy for them to keep the ball, and then acres of space behind Maatsen for the winger to run into, pulls it back, and there's NDI to fire it home. And that's like the opposite start we wanted. I mean, the one thing this season, we've had a lot of the ball. I mean, we've had less than 25% possession in the first 15 minutes of this game. That's how you know things are not going well for us. We just need to get a highlight, get a chance, make us feel like we're in the game. Right, a goal kick for them. They go short. And then play it out to the right back. And they've got out far too easily here. This is going to be another chance for them, I think. O'Brien out to Sarr again. NDI. Right, we need to go back to the drawing board here because this is not working at all. Right, free kick, Sarr takes. A brilliant save, but this is very, very one-way traffic here. And we've got a head on that. Back in our box though. Thought he was going to blow for a penalty. It's still there. Oh. Turn behind for another corner. This time it's headed clear a bit more firmly. But it's still alive. They've got it on the edge of the box. This might be the worst half of football we've played in much of the season. Right, 2-0 down at half-time. We haven't had a highlight. And nothing is going our way. Right, second half underway. Just a chance. Please. And yet again, another attack for them. Oh, we've forced them back. Casanova's nicked it. And they're getting back at him though. Goes from distance. I mean, at least we've had a highlight that we've seen for us, but it wasn't what we expect from him. Right, we've made our final subs to try and get into this. Right, throw in from King. Elise back to King. Crosses it to the far post. It's headed clear as far as Edstrom. And he gives it away, but they've only cleared as far as Medina. Klemenko, what a finish. And with 20 minutes left to play, we've somehow got ourselves back into the game. Edstrom just loses out on the ball here. The defender clears it only as far as Medina's header. Klemenko takes it on the chest and smashes a volley into the top corner. And there's still a bit of light at the end of the tunnel here. Corner. Ibrahimovic to take it, swings it in. It's headed back to Ibrahimovic. Barcola saved Ibrahimovic. Smashes it home, and within 4 minutes we've got 2 goals. And somehow we've levelled the match up. Just kept coming back out to Ibrahimovic. Barcola shot, the defender blocks it, comes back to Ibrahimovic, and somehow he fires it through the crowd and levels the game up. Right, we're into the last 10 minutes. And we've got a free kick just outside the area. Ibrahimovic to step up. Oh. An inspired substitution bringing Ibrahimovic on. But how have we just done this? It's a lovely free kick in off the post. Or that replay won't tell us much. But we have somehow come from 2-0 down and not being in the game to leading 3-2 in the Europa League final. What on earth is happening here? They're also down to 10 men because they've had to make a substitution. Into the last couple of minutes. Please just keep it tight. 6 minutes of injury time to be played. Oh no. Free kick for... Oh, we've won it. Casanova into Danny Smith. Comes off the bar. We've still got it Medina. To Dimov. Pulls it across and the keeper catches it. How on earth have we done that? Like, first of all, with what we did with the registration in the squad, but then to have looked like we've completely bottled the final, 2-0 down at half time with barely having a kick in the game. We've come back and won it 3-2. That has genuinely amazed me. And there we have it, the end of another episode, the end of season 8, and somehow we have done the unthinkable and won a European trophy. We've won the Europa League. How we managed to do that after being 2-0 down at half time without having really had a kick in the first half to come back and win 3-2, I don't know. Basically, the last sort of two and a half months of the season, we were outstanding. A lot of that is down to one of the players we brought in January. We signed Jose Casanova on the 1st of January for £4 million from Defensor Sporting. Since he's been with us, he's played 26 games, scored 20 goals and got 6 assists. He's been absolutely outstanding. Ibrahimovic came off the bench and was just the complete difference maker in that final. And we're going to have the same problem next season that we've had this season, which is trying to pick a squad that fits the registration rules. But we're in the Champions League next year. We'd qualified through the league anyway, but we've won the Europa League. We finished second in the league. I think overall what ended up being a pretty successful season, whereas midway through the season, out of both cup competitions, struggling a bit in the league, sort of 7 and 8 points behind Celtic and Rangers, to have finished second and to have won the Europa League, outstanding. It's actually seen me move on to the list of icons at the club rather than just favourite personnel. But it doesn't mean anything if we don't push on next season. We've got some money to spend. We don't need to do too much. If we can sign some players, we might need to move some players on just because they may be too big for the club now. But we'll find out what happens next time. So thanks for watching and we'll see you then.